Welcome to Sermon Brainwave with me, Rolf Jacobson.
And me, Karoline Lewis.
And me, Matt Skinner.
Hey, this is the podcast for December 14th, 2025, the third Sunday of Advent. I hope your Advent celebrations and preparations are going well, that this is a season where you are growing closer to God. And here are the texts. The first lesson is Isaiah 35, 1 through 10. The psalm is 146, 5 through 10. The second reading, James 5, 7 through 10. And the gospel reading is Matthew 11, 2 through 11. John the Baptist in prison.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. A lot of, I was just noticing a lot of number through 10, 5 through 10, 1 through 10, 7 through 10.
Yeah, you know what? They should have stopped to the gospel reading just to be round.
I know, it should have been 10, 2 through 10.
Or 1 through 10.
Or 1 through 10, right?
So, all right, this is what we were talking about last week that I want to go back and start with, which is John seems to think Jesus is not delivering on what John thought. First of all, the fact that John's in prison. I'm sure John is going, wait a second. This was not part of the deal I signed up for.
Not the plan.
And so he gets to send a message. Are you the one to come, or are we to wait for another? That doesn't sound to me like a guy filled with faith. What do you think? Normal human doubts is what he's got.
I think he has faith in the promise that he's discerned it. I'm not sure he's got faith in Jesus as the person right here.
He's wondering.
Yeah, he's like, if this is the vision.
I would too if I were in prison.
Right.
I'd be bitter about many things, especially in John's case, where he's in prison for literally no good reason except that there's a tyrant in charge. He's trying to make an example out of him.
Don't mess with the Herods.
Yeah.
Of the Herods of the Bible, which one is your least favorite? Herod the Great? This Herod? Herod Antipas? Herod the other Herod?
This is Herod Antipas. Yeah. By least favorite, what do you mean?
None of them are like, yay, Herod. They're all, Herod. I mean, Herod the Great kills a bunch of kids because he finds out Jesus is going to be born. And then this Herod, John says, hey, listen, you're breaking the law. You can't marry her. She's your sister-in-law. And he's like, go to jail.
I don't know if I've ranked them.
Well, that's why I was asking.
I mean, Herod the Great is interesting because he's such a complicated figure, but that's because we know a lot about him. Herod Antipas, I mean, all of Herod's sons are just
atrocious
dolts.
People.
Atrocious.
Nice.
Dolt. You like that?
Those are both good words.
Agrippa the First appears to be a bit of kind of monstrous. I mean, yeah.
I like saying Antipas.
Isn't that like what you eat before the pasta?
Oh, yeah.
You guys are stalling.
No, I'm not.
I think that his question, of course, from prison, and given all of the circumstances, would be a great question to open a sermon with, and that is, are you the one who is to come, or are we to wait for another? I would build a whole sermon around that question. Are you the one? Why do we hope Jesus is the one? Why do we think Jesus is not the one? What are we waiting for around Jesus' identity and what this Messiah looks like and what this Messiah is ushering in? And so the theme of expectation, the theme of waiting, the theme of what exactly are we looking forward to with Jesus coming into the world, I think you could do a lot with that question. That's my first sermon for the day.
I like the framing there. I like the idea of using that opening question for sure.
It's a great question.
John's he's been told what the Messiah was doing. I mean, it's not like he's operating out of a deficit of understanding.
He still asks the question.
Yet he's not satisfied.
Yeah. And I think that's true for a lot of us.
Well, what, to me, it is the thing that when at some point in our lives, we all will experience the feeling of my reality sucks right now, and it's not what it's supposed to be like in a good creation with a powerful creator. Whether it's John in prison here because he did nothing other than say, hey, you're not following God's law. People who get run over by wars, people with cancer, people who experience, you can go on. And I think it's a profoundly human moment to say, yeah, some of us are feeling that right now. And Jesus' answer is really good. I couldn't find the right word, so I just went with good. But I mean, so go tell John what you see here. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, those with the skin disease are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are, I mean, so that blessed is anyone who takes no offense at me. That I don't understand that verse. So you guys explain that, the who takes no offense at me. What's he saying to John there? But sometimes when we suffer as individuals or groups, it is helpful to look around and see other signs of God's activity that are, maybe that's not the answer you want. Hey, no, where's the prison? The thing that's interesting is in that list of things, the one missing is the prisoners go free, which are usually in those lists in other places.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what does it mean? Blessed is anyone who takes no offense at me.
I think it's blessed as anyone who's not scandalized by me.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed as anybody who sees what I'm doing and doesn't try to get in my way and stop it, which might make it a very subtle rebuke to John.
Yeah, that's what I wonder.
Like blessed is the one who gets off my back in terms of...
Or we even recognizes his identity. Blessed is the one who sees who I am. And that would be like the other part of my sermon, or it could be a whole nother sermon. Go and tell what you hear and see in this season. Go and tell what you hear and see about what Jesus has done for you and what you have seen Jesus do for others. And how does that line up with your expectations of who you want Jesus to be and who you expect Jesus to be? That injunction as well is another direction I would take homiletically.
If we go back and read, the previous 6 chapters in Matthew and look at what Jesus has been doing, and we read these stories about people receiving their sight and the ability to walk again, clear skin, etc. None of this happens because Jesus waves his hand over a village and heals everybody at once. These are all individual healings. I think that's part of it as well, that what John's being corrected on here is the kind of sea change you might be hoping for isn't happening. But one by one, I'm making changes. And the vision of righteousness you might be hoping to see ushered in isn't going to happen all in a huge wave. But one by one, I'm empowering people who this society has left behind or has disadvantaged in some way, whatever. I'm bringing wholeness, right? This is a mark of the kingdom. And it's going to be realized in small steps. It's not going to be realized in the kind of display of power you might be hoping for, which is, he and John want the same thing. I think John's mistake is the pacing isn't fast enough or it's not dramatic enough. And I think it's this reminder, right? John lives on the brink. I mean, go back to chapter 3. He wants it now, wants change now, wants people to shape up now. I mean, he's just had it. And that's hard. It's hard to live that way. It's obnoxious. It's annoying to live with people or to be around people who are always like that, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No,
but when the change
right.
is getting
I've
made
known
here,
people.
it's not from some wild-eyed revolutionary. It's from Jesus saying, I'm going to make sure I look everybody I heal in the eye. It's just a different approach. And I don't think that's to excuse injustice. It's just that I think Jesus is empowering people to be a part of the change John hopes would be done through a wave of the wand or something.
And I think, too, since we are in the year of Matthew, that we need to be reminded that this is only chapter 11, and that means it's only 4 chapters, because I can do math, after the end of the Sermon on the Mount. And so if we see Sermon on the Mount as sort of the larger picture of what this kingdom of heaven looks like, the 3 chapters need some unfolding, right? You can't, what Jesus has to say in the Sermon on the Mount is so profound and such an extraordinary vision of what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. It can't come right away. So there's sort of a narrative logic to that as well, that maybe in part John voices. That vision in that sermon is going to take a while for it to unfold, and piece by piece, and maybe that's also the connection as well to go and tell what you have seen and heard. Where have you seen and heard those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Where have you seen the poor in spirit? Blessed are the poor in spirit. And so that the Sermon on the Mount becomes a reference point for what we have seen and heard, and the qualifications of, is this the one or should we wait for another? Isaiah, we're in our third of our sermon series on Isaiah. And Rolf, what's the topic this week?
If you were kind of following what I did the last couple weeks, 2 weeks ago, in the culture, it's the ringing of jingle bells, but in the Bible, it's the swords and the plowshares. Last week, trees, Christmas tree versus the stump of Jesse. I have two options for this week.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Preacher's choice.
Yes. Well, or they can do their own thing, but it is, who's traveling? Who's traveling at this time of year? And there's kind of two angles. The first is, where are you going, or who's coming back to home? You know, why are they doing
the highway thing?
Yes.
Ah.
Or we tend to think of Mary and Joseph were on their way to Bethlehem. You know, I mean, that's the other thing, like that, but that's not what's happening here. It's actually, this is 2nd Isaiah, this passage written by the same anonymous exilic prophet responsible for Isaiah 40 through 55. There's parts of 1 through 39 that are also usually associated with 2nd Isaiah. Clearly, this one is. And what he is saying is, this anonymous prophet, this is poetry, remember. It's not literal. The people are in exile. If you can picture, okay, Karoline, geography maven, let's have an appearance. What's between Jerusalem and Babylon if you drew a straight line?
If I had to draw a straight line?
In the ancient world.
Nothing.
Actually, what's it called? Wilderness.
Right.
Great.
It's desert.
The whole country of Jordan now hates our podcast.
Well, not Jordan's sort of north of it. It's
apologies.
It's a wilderness.
Apologies to our Jordanian listeners.
Yes, definitely. The prophet is saying a highway shall be there through this land. To get from Babylon to Jerusalem, literally, you don't walk in a straight line. You walk north around the Fertile Crescent, where there's provision, where there's no highway.
Fresh water.
Right. Yeah.
We should point out the modern state of Jordan has got terrible access to water. It's a huge challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say more.
Oh, just to say, this is natural resources,
Yeah.
right? It's a desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point. The word wilderness in Hebrew is the wild area where people don't live, is what wilderness means. In Minnesota, the wilderness is forest, where I live. But in the ancient world, the wilderness was desert. And so metaphorically, the prophet says, a highway shall be there. It shall be called the Holy Way, you know, as opposed to the way of the sea is the highway that went along the Mediterranean, and the way of the kings was inland. This is going to be called the Holy Way. And who's going to travel on it? This is interesting. The unclean shall not travel on it. It shall be for God's people. I love this. And here's the great thing. No traveler, not even fools, can get lost on this highway. It's going to be such a great straight highway, you can't even get lost.
Even people who drive with like their blinker on the whole time.
Even people who are on their phones while they're driving. Can't go wrong. But then, this is a gorgeous line, verse 10. And the ransomed of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with singing. The ransomed of the Lord, this is the exiles, God's people. And the metaphor is Babylon took them into exile. And now God is going to ransom them free to pay the fee to the empire so that they can return home. And so the whole point of the highway is God's people returning to God. So for us, all right, what are you traveling for? Or the people that are traveling to come home to you, what are they traveling for? Maybe it's to be with family, but
the food. The presents.
God, Karoline.
Okay, God.
Yeah.
Sorry. I got distracted there.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
You had a second one.
That's the one I would really go with. But if that's too concrete for you,
concrete highway. I get it. It's actually asphalt, but go ahead.
That's nice. At this time of year, there's a lot of singing, a lot of joy, a lot of things. And who's celebrating? In the first verses, it's the land itself. The dry land shall be glad. The desert shall rejoice. It shall blossom. It will rejoice with singing. I think that's too a little bit just out there poetically. So I'd rather go with the other metaphor. But it is interesting, the poetry of the land itself bursting into praise.
Love it.
Good. You could sing "Prepare the Royal Highway."
Yes, you
I'd have
could.
to fine you.
What?
The singing fine.
Prepare the royal highway, the King of Kings is near.
There
Is
you
that
go.
how it goes?
We've got
Yep.
a song chart you have to pay into.
So then
That's good. That's my new. I'm recommitted to singing.
I love it.
Good.
Psalm 146 is.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, when it comes to Isaiah, I love 4a.
Yep.
Well, 4b is okay too. But say to those who are of a fearful heart, be strong, do not fear. Here is your God. And that's, of course, a theme in 2nd Isaiah. You get that in 41. You get it in 52. The herald of good tidings says, your God is here. Your God is present. And that in and of itself is the promise of what we're looking forward to in Christmas. Your God is here. Unbelievably so, miraculously so. Hard to believe, how is this even possible so? But yes, your God is here. That would be... I'd just add that to a third.
Yeah.
Isaiah.
He will come and save you.
Yeah, come and save you. Yeah, so.
Beautiful. I'm going to say something that I don't normally say. Say to those who are of a fearful heart, be strong and do not fear. You could use that liturgically. I had to find myself. Sorry.
You had to what?
I just gave myself a fine for saying to use it
Oh.
liturgically. But I would. I mean, that could be part of the
Is
prayers.
that the fine bell?
That's the fine bell. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, we've been doing this for 17 and a half years. Got to there's
Try to
something.
introduce some sound effects. Yeah, we're going to turn into like morning DJs before you know it. A whole board full of sound effects.
Yeah.
I like that.
I always wanted the button board with all the sound effects.
Careful
Very
what you wish
cool.
for.
Maybe we can see if our producer can add those
is
in.
giving the thumbs down.
Yeah, he's looking at us going, ooh,
All right,
that's
so,
a good idea.
But Psalm 146, as a response to the old, so the first lesson promises the whole nation is in prison. The ransom of the Lord shall go free. So then you get this liturgical response where you get the psalm as the response to that with the same, this creedal thing that pops up various places in the Old Testament. What's God going to do? God executes justice for the oppressed, gives food to the hungry, sets the prisoners free, opens the eyes of the blind. And I do think it is interesting that Isaiah is about everyone, all the prisoners in Babylon are going to go free and return home here. And then that's the one thing that is left out of Jesus' list.
Yeah, back in Matthew 11.
Yeah, which is it. I had never noticed that before. But the Lord loves the righteous.
yes, it's a beautiful response.
It's a helpful introduction to Matthew. I mean, this time of the year, right? We haven't gotten into Jesus' ministry at all, but we're going to see, you mentioned the Sermon on the Mount, opens up with all of these promises to people who are potentially struggling to get along in society because the world's not built for them to thrive in or to find success in. And so a lot of what Jesus is going to do in this gospel is heal, feed, deliver. We sometimes miss that in Matthew because the polemic is so strong from time to time, but it's
Why going
it's
back
very
to the Sermon on the
pronounced.
Mount is important.
So here in Psalm, this is where Jesus gets his mission from. It's where he gets his best material. This is what God does. This is what the Lord does.
By the way, I just realized I blew the entrance to this podcast because, and Matt will know this, what Sunday is this, Matt, in the church year? It's the third Sunday of Advent.
Oh, it's Gaudete.
See?
Yeah.
Gaudete Sunday, which means in Latin,
Rejoice.
Rejoice.
and so that's the prayer.
Pink candle. It's Pink Candle Sunday.
Right, it's Pink Candle Sunday. So who's rejoicing is, I think, an angle because, of course, it's quoting Philippians, rejoice in the Lord always, Gaudete
Rejoice in the
in Domino,
Lord.
whatever the Semper, I think, Semper, yeah.
Just throw out the Latin words we know.
No, it is.
Yeah, okay.
And who's rejoicing? It's the land, but also look at all these what we would call unfortunates, the widows, the strangers, and of course, a stranger is a displaced person who has no family. It's not just somebody you don't know. The homeless,
Just the
essentially.
Ger.
Yeah, I think so. You want me to look it
Psalm
up?
here? I don't,
It's either that.
well, because
or
people are going to
or-
trust us.
It's either ger or moshav.
Okay.
Let me look it up because now I got to know.
sometimes translated as foreigner, sojourner.
Yeah.
Yep, ger.
So the gerim,
Mhm.
Displaced people who have no family.
could they also be like kind of a socioeconomic class within Israel? Would we know that for sure?
Well, I think,
Are they technically outsiders? We call foreigners.
So Israel was a kinship-based society. Your kinship group, and
Was
then
your
was your social safety
yeah,
net, was
yeah.
everything. You didn't live as an individual for individual pursuit of happiness. You lived for the welfare of your clan, and then clan owed loyalty to you. And so the member of the clan, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, who fulfills obligation to you is called a goel, redeemer. And if you're someone who has no kinship group, no one who will be goel to you, you're a ger.
Here. Okay.
And so think about Ruth and Naomi in the book of Ruth. They're the classic gers. They've been dislocated by famine. And so, yeah, they're a socioeconomic class.
Including Naomi, who's an Israelite, or
Right.
from Judah or Bethlehem, right?
Yeah, what did I say?
No, I'm just.
No,
I'm-
yeah.
Did I
that's
say
just
the
me.
name wrong?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
Yes, she is first.
we know that Ruth is a ger because she's Moabite, but
But
Naomi as well, even
she-
though she's an Israelite, is also a ger because she's lost her safety net. Is that
She-
fair to say?
Yes, first of all, she's a ger in Moab when all the men
Right.
die, and then she has no family. So she sends Orpah back to her group, and then Ruth follows her, willing to become a ger to stay loyal to her. But they're all over the place.
Right.
They're usually caused displaced people by war or famine, or like in Joseph's case, his brothers who were supposed to be his kinship group sold him into slavery, and he goes down to Egypt where he's a ger.
Huh.
Anyway, who's rejoicing? All these
gers.
unfortunate for whom God is doing good things.
Love it. We've got
Yeah. James.
James. Surprise.
Do you think?
Advent 3.
Do you
How about
think-
a little James for you?
Do you think? Here's what I think. I think they're like, John is, like you said, in prison going, hey, we need a little faster action here. Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord.
Well, that
I think it's
is
just
quite
because
the
coming of the Lord
juxtaposition.
is parousia, and they're like, oh,
I
yeah.
know, the coming of the Lord
The farmer waits for the precious crop.
from the earth, being patient.
You also
Well,
must
then,
be patient. I don't
Verse
like this.
10, example of suffering and patience, take the prophets who that's John. He's in prison
I know.
going, just rolling his eyes at James right now. Like, patience.
Has there ever been a single person in the history of the world who, when someone said you just need to be patient, thought that was good advice?
Yeah, no.
Like when my
I-
mom would say that to me, I'm like, no,
I
no.
know. And I'm sure John is also grumbling amongst his fellow prisoners as well.
You going to sing Guns N' Roses Patience for us?
I was thinking it, but no. All we need is a little patience. Song jar.
Yeah.
I get fined for the song jar. All right, so
All right.
brothers and sisters,
Power ballad.
strengthen your hearts.
That is the best, one of the best stations, the power ballads. Oh,
Strengthen
yeah.
your hearts for the coming of the Lord.
Well, this is, I don't know, we've got to tie this into all the other texts, but John pays a price for his vision. John pays a price for his
Yeah, he does.
his radicalness, obviously, right? And not everybody can live that way. Not everybody should live. I don't think that's the calling
Well, that's good.
to make ourselves into martyrs. But so James, like you said, this is, in some ways, this is tough advice to take
Yeah.
out of any kind of a context. But it is this reminder that there are more ways. There's so many heroes. There's so much great poetry in Advent. But like, what does this mean for me? How can I be inspired? And maybe James gives a little bit of practical advice for ordinary folk like me.
Well, and it does introduce another maybe not major theme, but sub theme of Advent. We are asked to be patient for the coming of the Lord. We are asked to wait.
And do you remember what it was like as a kid waiting for Christmas Eve to finally get there?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
wonderful.
I mean-
It's an eternity. It's
Yeah.
interminable.
Yeah. I mean, and then when school's out and you still got like 4 days or something,
Yeah.
and you're driving your mother crazy, which I did.
Not only was it at Christmas, it was also my birthday. So can you imagine the double dose of patience I needed?
But what does that look like for Christian living now? I think that is a helpful insight. Sermon Brainwave is a production of Working Preacher from Luther Seminary. Working Preacher has been a trusted source of inspiration, interpretation, and imagination for preachers worldwide since 2007. Find episodes, commentaries, and links at workingpreacher.org/brainwave. and subscribe to Working Preacher's monthly newsletter for RCL preachers by clicking on subscribe in the website footer. Please rate, review, and comment on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. And thank you for joining us.